Hiya, and welcome back to Eden's Reach, the game that teaches us that maidenless behavior is common among assassins. I am assuming that Benji is an assassin. Hiya. Anyways, let's just hop right in. I take one deep breath before turning towards the training room where I see the raccoon standing at the shooting range. He isn't stationary on one of the rows, however. Hiya. He's strafing from left to right, shooting vigorously at each target. It's quite impressive, even more impressive than how accurate Oswald was yesterday. Hey, Benji! No answer. No answer. He just gives a glance my way before shooting one more round through the rows. I sit down on one of the benches and proceed to just observe him silently. Oh, he's a mercenary. Okay. Okay. I genuinely thought he was an assassin. Like, I genuinely thought he was doing... Like, I genuinely thought that that he was doing a silver from Remember the Flowers. That his entire job was just, like, crawling up walls all stealthily and seeing his target, and he's like, "Aw, fuck." So then he pulls out a gun and puts a bullet between his target's eyes. Like, he's all like, pew, 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 brah, brah, pew, pew. He fired, I genuinely thought that he was the person that, like, oh, that you walk up to and you're like, "Oh, I need someone dead," and he's like, "Alright," and he grabs a little pew pew machine and crawls up a wall and just shoots someone. But if he's a mercenary, then honestly, that's also pretty cool. To my surprise, even with how fast and loose he's being, all of the rows are pinging bullseye. I am left dumbfounded at how much skill that has to take, let alone how much brain power that has to consume. It's starting to make my head hurt, but I quickly snap back to reality when Benji looks my way. Your turn. What? I'm not going to have to drag you all the way here, am I? Oh, right! Sorry! I stand up and quickly position myself as Benji grabs a pistol from the row in front of me. He hands it to me after I've properly positioned myself. I look at it rather hesitantly. I never thought I'd have to ever have the need to handle firearms in my entire life. I look to Benji, who's giving me a rather judgmental look. Adrian. Yes? Have you ever handled a gun before? No. Benji strokes his chin, thinking of something. Hiya. Alright. Benji looks at me intently, removing his hand from his jacket's pockets. He sluggishly points towards the gun, creating a circle motion afterwards. First of all, get your finger off the trigger. You might accidentally pop someone's eye out. I look at my hand and quickly fumble to place my index finger somewhere else, almost dropping the gun in the process. Just plant it on the barrel. The barrel? Hiya. That long thing where the bullets get shot out of. I do as I'm told, placing my finger on the barrel. Huh, so that's what it's called. I could hear Benji sigh under his breath. Let me just... Oh, wait. So, Benji, you call it a barrel and not a pew-pew, the brass-led robot penis shot thing? That's pretty cringe, isn't it? Right. Next thing. I continue to observe the gun when I hear a muffled thump onto one of the benches. I glance in the direction of the sound, only to see Benji standing there without his jacket on. I am not a gun person, and even I know, and also... Benji, don't worry. Benji, don't worry. We are respectfully, the key word here is respect. We are respectfully staring at you in a very disrespectful manner. Underneath is a tank top. Okay, he looks a lot leaner without it. I suppose that comes with being a thief. But still, he's quite well built. I can see some semblance of muscle on his arms. Adrian, you're, drooling. Huh? I wipe my muzzle off quickly to see that I am indeed slobbering. God! I already grew past my dog slobber phase in high school. Okay. You're quite weird, Adrian. Oh! I am? Okay, is the text-to-speech not working? Seriously, I need to know. Is the text-to-speech not working? Because, like, I will try to fix it, like, right now. Is it, like, not working? Because, like, I saw the image pop up. But is it, like, not working? Wait. Wait, it might be working. I don't know. Oh! I am. Yes, but in a good way, of course. Shelve those puppy eyes.
What do you want me to
for
say?
me. Oh, it is working! It's the lifeblood of this group, after all.
Zynga.
Woohoo! Benji then moves closer and positions himself behind me, seeming like he's observing every possible angle of my entire being. It was a little off-putting, like I'm being inspected for doing something wrong. Alright. Now your shooting form. Got it! How do I do that? Before that, Benji clears his throat. How was the shower? Hang on, I gotta just... How's the shower? I almost immediately choke on my own saliva and tense up. I start feeling flushed as blood rushes up to my head, making me sweat profusely. Oh geez, I'm about tomato red under all my fur right now. I then begin to feel my entire being shriveling up from embarrassment. Suddenly, a pair of hands firmly grasp my hips, holding me still. This stiff, intense feeling. Don't forget it when you get ready to shoot. You know, let me just... This stiff, intense feeling. Don't forget it when you get ready to shoot. Benji lets go of my hips after a few moments, then begins trailing his hands onto my shoulders. Keep these relaxed as you can, though. Now, raise the gun and aim at the target. I expect Benji to let go of my shoulders as I raise the gun, but he doesn't. Quite the opposite, actually. The more I raise my arms, the more he presses down on my shoulders, making my entire arm feel weird and weak. Like this? You're naturally tensing up. Of course, it's to be expected. But... He quickly moves to my side before lightly smacking my back. Proper posture. You aren't a hunchback, so you have no excuse pressuring your diaphragm. Benji then moves in front of me, avoiding the path of the gunshot. He adjusts my arms further and then places a hand on my chest. It's a lot easier to shoot when you're breathing steady. Try it. I do as he says, breathing in and out slowly. It becomes a lot more smooth the more I do it, and it feels rather relieving, making the remaining tension from my shoulders abate a bit. See, you get it. Yeah, sort of. Good. Next. Benji moves behind me again. Then, out of nowhere, he smacks my butt. What the hell? Spread the legs a bit more. Keep them balanced. Else you'll topple over with bigger guns. Oh! You, didn't really have to smack my ass, though! I trail off while looking directly at Benji's straight, emotionless face. He doesn't seem to be kidding around with that. Now, this isn't going to make your aim better, but it's going to put as many odds into letting you line up your shots easier. Shooting with accuracy is a skill that takes time, like all things, but utilizing these principles can weigh the gunfight more in your favor. Got it? I just nod as I gulp down from nervousness. I feel like I'm about to puke with how weird this pose feels. Alright, now, place your finger on the trigger, and try to control the upward force from the recoil. I half-heartedly do so, hesitating to pull the trigger. I can't dawdle for long, though, especially with Benji watching me so intently. I pull the trigger, and I hear a muffled shot escaping the barrel and a bit of recoil surging through my body. Huh. Second base. Not bad for a first shot. You can tell? Yup, says right here. He points towards the panel next to the row, displaying a hole in the circle, in between the smallest and second smallest circles. Oh! That's where my shot went? Essentially. I immediately try to loosen up when Benji grunts at me. Oh, I would fucking cry. Yeah, Haya. No, I would fucking cry if he was all like, "Hey, who said you can relax?" Because like he's so intimidating and he probably sounds really mean. I would probably start crying. I've been crying a lot the past couple days. I have actually been crying a lot the past couple days. Hey, who said you can relax? Yeah, I thought we were done! Not until you empty that whole magazine, you aren't. Now, get as close to the center as possible. Yes, sir! Fuck! I said that out of instinct. I never knew Benji could be this authoritarian. He never exuded that aura at all, as far as I've seen. I'm just checking something. I try to replicate the form Benji taught me. Legs spread. Okay. Breathing clear. Shoulders relaxed. Okay, now. Calm down. I managed to eventually empty the whole magazine. Each shot taking me a few minutes to prepare before pulling the trigger, though. I could see in my peripherals that Benji was stifling a chuckle or two as he watched me, covering it up under his hand. Alright, that's enough, Adrian. Thank God! I almost absentmindedly fling the gun back onto its previous position on the table, not even noticing how sweaty I've gotten. So much for that shower half an hour ago. We'll take a break for the rest of the day. We still have a week to go, though. So we'll have the opportunity to work on it some more. Do we still have to do this tomorrow? Not like you have any other plans at the moment, no. I groan a bit more while sitting down, almost feeling like I might melt onto the bench when I hear footsteps from the entrance. Knock knock. Am I interrupting anything? Oh, Oswald. You gonna open up shop now? I immediately stand to greet Oswald. Finally, he's not in his birthday suit. Instead, he's wearing the same kind of suit he wore in the bar. He must be done getting ready for work. Not yet, Benji. I think I forgot my deodorant and perfume somewhere. They aren't in my room. Oh dear, what a tragedy. I don't suppose you think that... Someone stole it! Oh geez, the raccoon's got thief jokes. Not funny, Benji. I know you wouldn't steal my crap even if your life depended on it. I am a supporter of natural sense, yes. Why would I want people manufacture? Oswald gives Raccoon a rather disgusted look. I think got the same idea that I did when Benji said that. Didn't land, huh? Ugh. It's right next to the boxing ring. Benji looks at Oswald, then at me rather flippantly. I'll use vanilla extract, thank you very much. Oswald comes back, 2 spray cans in hand. He seems to have already sprayed them on the way here. He has a distinct, rather strong smell of men's deodorant. You're no fun, Oz. Oswald nods with a smile, but his expression changes when he looks my way. He's wearing a rather guilty expression, then his face contorts to annoyance when he looks back at Benji once more. I hope you're not overworking him, for your own sake. Kinda hard not to, especially with only a week's deadline to make him ready for the mission. Oswald briefly bares his teeth, making violent gesture at Benji's way. I'm taken aback at how protective Oswald is of me. I intervene for Benji's sake. It's okay, Oswald. I'll be fine. Besides, I kind of do need to keep up with you guys if I don't want to, you know, die. Oswald's clearly surprised, looking a little embarrassed as he slowly backs away. Oh, don't worry, Adrian. I'll make sure nothing happens to you. Don't worry, yeah? I happily nod at him, both of us blushing before Oswald excuses himself. Well, I have to open the bar now. Take care of him, Benji. I'm not his babysitter. Ugh. Why do I even bother? Oswald rushes back towards the entrance, leaving me and Benji alone. There he goes again. Benji seems rather exhausted after that interaction. Much more than when he was training me. I swear that wolf can be a handful, especially because of... Benji eyes me from head to toe. I awkwardly try to cover myself up, with his gaze just being so judging. It's nuts! He might as well be a squirrel instead. Adrian. Yeah? If we're going to spend so much time together, I should definitely learn more about you. Me? What's so special about me? Maybe why you wanted to be a DJ? Oh, that... It's just a really cheesy story. Benji changes position, signaling how intently he's listening. I clear my throat as I slightly reposition myself as well, ready to tell the story. Well, I didn't really grow up in a normal family. How so? If I had to describe it, it would be, I guess, abusive. I don't really know. It wasn't like I was hit or anything. Oh. My parents, well, we lived in the countryside. Simple life, you know? You were only supposed to dream as big as the town you were raised in, and, well, that was about as far as I could get with my parents. I immediately start to feel like tearing up. In an instant, I feel a gentle touch on my back. I looked to Benji, who was giving me an uncharacteristically concerned look. I was a big fan of music. Whenever I told my parents anything besides what they wanted from me, I kind of just ran for it. Soon high school came around, pretty gloomy, so I started sharing my playlists. People liked it, so I thought, hey, why don't I make my own music? Benji gives me an approving look before I continue with my story. I went to college with a friend, name's Dylan. He was and still is my biggest fan, if you could call him that. He was the last nail in the coffin for me to really strive for DJing. Really connect with people, bring them together. Huh. Knew I spotted a pacifist. What? Benji refuses to continue, however. He instead eyes my bandaged ear. I'm sorry for grazing that. Oh, this is not a big deal. Oswald says it should have healed by now, but... That's strange. I hate to say this, but let the cat check it out. She'll hear you from the infirmary. Oh, you sure? Benji nods, helping me stand. He takes back his jacket and wears it once more, placing his hands back into the pockets. I make my way to the infirmary, but Benji stops me midway. Adrian, wait. Adrian, wait. Oh, I gotta prep the sensor? Okay. Alright, sensor prepped. Yeah, what is it? Tomorrow, when we train, it'll be less strict. Really? Why the change? You seem to respond better to that approach. Besides, I did say I wanted to get a closer look at you. And now I have. Oh, okay, I'll see you later then, Benji! I leave towards the infirmary, hoping to see Ellie soon. Maybe Oswald wrapped my bandage wrong so it hasn't healed yet? I guess I'll find out soon. Alright, I'm just gonna pull up the sensor. I'm gonna be all like, wow, that is a penis. Meanwhile... Oh, okay. Adrian, you're an only child, yet you remind me of him so much. How can someone who grew up in the dark have such an empathetic heart? Heath got a crush. I turn at the bend, the light of the infirmary illuminating the dim hallway. I survey the surroundings, no sign of life can be found. I sheepishly look around the nooks and crannies for Ellie, hoping that she has those cat-like invisibility powers all felines I've met seem to have. After a few minutes of searching, however, I still came up empty-handed. I do not need another workout today. This life will certainly need some getting used to. Oh, okay. I resign myself to sitting on one of the examination tables, just catching my breath. As I do so, the door opposite of me whirs before quietly opening up, with Ellie appearing from the room on the other side with a tray of beakers and flasks. All right, that should all be this week's extracts. Now for the Reagent inventory check. She places the tray under the shelves without even taking notice of me. She seems to be deep in thought, so I try to gently catch her attention. Ellie? And then we can change the potassium chloride for white phosphorus for the projectile grenades. Oh geez, looks like being gentle isn't really going to nab her attention. Reagent, sorry. Ellie! But for smoke trailers, we could stick with the chlorate. Ellie! Sweet Light of Eden. She jolts upwards, her fur all bristled. Guess I went too far. Hi there! Oh, it's just you. Is there anything you need? I notice that she's still shivering from the shock, so I try to talk a bit more slowly than usual. It's about this bandage. The one on your ear? But that shouldn't be on for more than a few minutes. Did Oswald forget to trigger it? Trigger it? Oh, well, Adenite medical equipment works quite differently. Let me see here. She inches closer towards me and reaches out for the bandage, then tries to tickle it. Though the ear is covered, I can still feel her paw trailing across the surface. Starts to make my ear twitch. What are you doing? Agitating the bandage. It's made of a polymer that releases spores, which then accelerate the healing process. Now, please try to stay still. She continues to trace her finger across the bandage, and I start feeling a lot chillier. At first, it was as if a breeze started blowing at me, then I feel my legs going numb. My hands begin tingling, my vision starts to blur a bit too, with my head aching in tandem with it. Oh, right, the blood flow will start coagulating in the area, so you might feel some imbalances. It should go away after a little bit. Her trailing stops and the bandage begins to fall on its own. Its thread falls onto my muzzle, which Ellie quickly takes and crumbles before promptly disposing. She pulls herself closer to the wound and examines it thoroughly. Is it alright? Huh, it's healed, but... But what? I guess you just have to see for yourself. I blow out air and anxiety. I take out my phone and turn on its front camera to look. It seems fine, except a part's chipped off. It's just gone. What the hell? Why is it still chipped off? Oh, the bandage just accelerates the healing process, but it doesn't magically regenerate the body part itself. Oh, fuck. Everyone's going to think I'm some sort of troublemaker if I keep getting shit like these. But, well, Adrian, it is a bit unavoidable in this line of work. I grimace at the thought of more scars like these. I mean, Oswald gets shit like this and he comes out of it the sexy beast. But as for me, well, I sigh before facing Ellie once more. I guess it can't really be helped. Thanks, Ellie. No problem, Adrian. She surprisingly becomes quite flustered at my gratitude. I guess she really is just easily flustered. I thought she was like that only towards Benji, but now it doesn't seem like it's a specific thing. And again, Benji constantly patronizing her on top of the constant antagonizing probably isn't helping either. Anyways, I stand from the examination table and start walking towards the exit. Going to go and see if I can... But wait. Ellie sheepishly stops me. Adrian, I require something that needs... Ellie trails off the last few words into a mumble. Needs? Needs what? Y- Uh, She continues to mumble to herself, and I stand there in confusion. Your measurements. My what? Well, just come with me, please. I hesitate to go with her, skeptical about the direction she's headed. She seems to be inching towards the lab, and a part of me just feels squeamish to go in there, especially because of the impression I got from Alice's warnings. Can't you just get them here? Well, my scanning equipment is in there, so... An awkward silence follows. I suppose I shouldn't be giving Ellie a hard time. Something tells me it'll be a lot more trouble than it's worth to upset Ellie. I sigh in resignation. Fine, let's go into your lab then. Ellie's face relaxes with relief. Alright, this way, please. I'm just gonna pull it up. I'm just gonna pull it up. Ellie meekly points towards the door she came from, which makes my uneasiness resurface. Hang on, I'm just gonna... Kronk! Prepare the sensor! Wrong sensor! They'll ask to remove his clothes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I am playing this completely blind, so I don't know. It's like with all the VNs I play. I play them blind, except for Ad Astra. That one I didn't play blind. I try my best to stifle it as I follow her, constantly telling myself that this isn't going to be as bad as it's starting to look. I wrap my arms gently around myself as the cat opens the door and ushers me in. After the doors open, though, a surprising scent of fragrant flowers and other greenery overwhelms my nose. I know! I've seen that movie, Emperor's New Groove. I've seen it. Prepare for the penis. I forgot that canines like you have a more acute sense of smell compared to others. Well, please allow yourself to acclimate to it. It is not the least bit harmful, I assure you. I just nod while rubbing my nose a bit. It feels like it's pollen season all over again. As soon as I enter, I immediately understand why so many varied scents are in the air. This place is filled to the brim with different kinds of plants in all shapes and sizes. Ellie trails some of the leaves that she passes by as she heads into the direction of a smaller room, examining a few of the flasks and other containers. I stand there, extremely dumbfounded, and just stare blankly at all the plants. So, Ellie... Wait a moment, still calibrating the systems. More silence, only broken by the rustling of leaves, the continuous whirring of the machines, and the occasional clinking of glass. Ellie passes by in quick bursts, taking a piece from a nearby leaf, then going some under the counters, then stores a beaker or two into a sealed container. It's quite a mesmerizing sight, kind of like watching Dylan mixing drinks. I do wonder, how is he holding up? I'm going to have to tell him that, for the most part, I'm doing alright. I'm just not sure if he knows all these going on in his place of work. Adrian, it's time for me to, my measurements? Yes, and for that, you may have to... She stutters more, her face becoming more and more flushed. I raise an eyebrow at her, confused about what she wants me to do. Uh-huh. Strip. I have never, ever seen someone other than my dad refer to a penis as a pecker. That is just... Wow. Oh, fucking hell. No way. Strip. Why do I have to be... I'm sorry. It's just that I need to examine you in full. I try to hide my embarrassment, tugging at my clothes tightly as if that'll prevent me from ever stripping in front of her. Ellie also seems to be shriveling up like me. She's definitely not comfortable with this either. I sigh once more, immediately understanding one thing. If we both want to get this over with, I just have to... comply. Alright. Really? I begin to take off my shirt and pants. I try my best to expel every single embarrassing feeling off of my body as I slowly strip down to my underwear. To my surprise, Ellie seems unfazed by it, remaining as timid as she normally seems to be around everyone. She continues to wait expectantly to get onto my birthday suit, and I just have no choice on the matter whatsoever. Taking a deep breath, I take off my underwear in one swift motion. My sheath in full view. He's talking about his penis. Ugh. Alright, this way, please. She ushers me onto a lit platform. I try to shimmy my way through to the tight space that is her lab. I've been covering my unmentionables with my paws, waves of embarrassment never ceasing to wash over me. I'm going to see if there's like a censor setting. There is not. Well, at least I don't stink. Or else that's another thing I'd have to be embarrassed about. Yeah. Yeah, we can still see his head. Not that head, the head on his shoulders. Alright, Adrian, stand straight and keep all of your extremities within the square. The scan will begin soon. Okay! Ellie moves to the computer, typing in things I can barely see as she prepares the device. Once she presses enter, the device lights up with multiple light sensors that pass over my body in quick succession, both in top to bottom and left to right motions. I try my best to stay as stiff and straight as possible, keeping my crotch out of her view, and before I even know it, the scan is finished. Alright, quite average numbers. Average? Is she calling me average? Well, that just hurts my feelings indirectly. Oh, does that mean I can go now? Not yet, I still have to do my personal examination. You're what? Please calm down. It's only a physical exam. You don't have to worry. I am scared of physicals. Like, I've gotten a couple physicals in my life that I remember. And I always get so scared. I always get so scared whenever I need to get a physical, because I'm just like, please calm down. It's only a physical exam. You don't have to worry. I falter a bit while Ellie takes out her stethoscope. She places the 2 earpieces in and begins pressing the diaphragm onto my chest. Normal heart rate. Good. That's weird. Ellie only gives me a passing glance before continuing to push onto my chest. Alright, please turn around. I'm not sure if I want to. Let me just check something. Like, okay, like, in terms of, like, physicals, yeah, there's an ass. Yeah, in terms of physicals, I get so scared, but, like, it's gone to the point, I feel like, with all these FVNs, all these NSFW furry visual novels, I feel like it's gone to the point that I've gotten desensitized. I have become desensitized. Like, I would just be, like, reading through this and going through it, and it would be like, whenever I'm playing these personally, I see a not clothed character, and I'm just like, oh, that is a penis, and then I just go about my day. That is how desensitized I have become. Ellie doesn't hesitate. Instead, I hear her pressing a button, and that spins the platform, revealing her to my backside. She presses down with the diaphragm again, but in a different location on my back this time. Now, take a deep breath for me. I hesitantly do so. She's quick to take the stethoscope off after she's done. I turn my head to face her, feeling completely violated. Is it finally over? Oh, I remember Lazy Town. Don't remember that song, though. Is it finally over? One more thing. Can you please take your hands off sheath? I gasped loudly. No way! No way! I immediately curl up in an attempt to cover what's left of my dignity, to which she reacts by just staring at me wide-eyed. Adrian, please let me just take a quick look. I just need a second or two. It'll be quick, I promise. I can't. Ellie sighs to herself. Just a glance. Please. She looks at me with pleading eyes, and I do have to admit, they're quite effective. I start actually feeling bad. I may be giving her too much of a hard time. She doesn't seem to be deriving any sort of pleasure or joy out of this entire experience any more than I am. Okay. Am I being too selfish? Hang on, let me just... Wow. That is a penis. I begrudgingly do as she says, slowly revealing my sheath to her. Just like she says, it only took a few seconds of glancing at it before signaling me to cover it up again. See? Just a quick glance, that's all. How many times do I have to do this? Ellie moves her bangs as she studies the results on her tablet, after which she looks back at me. Okay, can I take down the sensor now? Can I take down... Oh god, the dogs came in. Hi! Say hello. Say hello to chat. Okay. Yeah, doggos came in, and they're laying down. They're being nerds. It was merely to check if you're in good health, and for the new gear I'm tasked with preparing for you. She takes out some rolls of cloth, and immediately something becomes familiar about them. Though I didn't take a hard look before, I'm pretty sure those are the same rolls that Benji had with him when I bumped into him. But aren't they on bad terms? Why would Benji do something that remotely involves Ellie? So many questions, yet so little time for answers. Seems to be the modus operandi around here. And it's starting to get annoying. Put on face cam for doggo. Alright, yeah, I'll do that. Let me turn on face cam real quick. Come here. Come here, Bubby. Come here. Here, there we go. Face cam is on. Come here. Come here. Come here, Bubby. Come here. Here he is. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come here. Come here. Oh. See. Let me just. I'm just gonna pick you up. Come here. Doggo feels violated. Nah, that's the other doggo. He's insane. I need to grow the depression beard back. Anyways. Is that so? Yes, make sure you're as comfortable as possible. I'm aware that you're quite uneasy on her, and her base as is, so I simply... She trails off again. Seems like she doubts herself whether she's doing a good thing or not. Yeah, there's 2 doggos. I'm not going to show the other one because he's insane. She certainly reminds me of someone. A guy that Dylan would often scold back in college. Why am I beating around the bush on it? About it? I know he was only setting me straight. I feel like I'd be more comfortable with him here. He knows me best after all. Uneasy, huh? I guess you can say that. Ellie notices that I'm deep in thought, so she clears her throat. No, I'm not going to send the picture of the other doggo. Well, the room is dark. Literally the only light entering this room is coming from my laptop and second monitor. I will get you all a better picture of the first doggo because, like, he's just adorable. He's an eepy boy. Like, 2012 YouTube memories, yeah. Ellie notices that I'm deep in thought, so she clears her throat. Sorry, did I remind you of something? I stammer at her spot on assessment. You're quite observant. She places the roll of cloth onto her desk, then takes a towel under it before handing it to me. Here you go. I'll let you change and cool down. You can leave afterwards. Thanks, Ellie. I wrap the towel around my waist and grab my clothes. There's a room next to Ellie's lab where I can change. Hiya. It's a lot smaller, so small that I think only Ellie and I can fit in here. I quickly put my clothes back on and leave the towel in the room. I leave the small room, but as I make my way towards the exit, I take a glance back in Ellie's direction. Part of me doesn't just want to leave. I'm not going to let myself just go with their MO. I take a deep breath and approach Ellie. Adrian? Hey! I said you're free to leave, so why aren't you? Her tone is a more curious tone than that of anger. She turns from her seat to fully face me as I take a seat next to hers. I just wanted to talk, It's not like I have anything better to do. Ellie raises an eyebrow at me. Didn't you have some training to do with Benji, though? We already had, actually. He sent me here after to get my ear fixed up. Ellie clicks her teeth, her hackles raising in suspicion. That doesn't seem to sound like him. What do you mean? He did cause the injury in the first place, no? I'm taken aback by Ellie's frankness. Yes. An awkward silence fills the room. I'm unsure what to say, and I don't feel like beating around the bush will progress this conversation anywhere. Those rolls, they came from Benji, right? Ellie looks at them and starts getting flushed. Yes, what about it? I don't know, it kind of feels weird that he does that, yet he says that he doesn't want to associate himself with you at all. Ellie's posture deflates, a deep sigh escaping her breath. I guess I was too direct. I'm sorry! No, you're right, he doesn't want anything to do with me. She clenches her fist on her lab coat. Her fists on her lab coat. You're bothered by it, aren't you? She nods at me meekly before turning to her desk. I roll my chair next to hers and make eye contact. It's not the hate and disdain that I'm bothered by, it's the reasons why. She glances at me and quickly recomposes herself. Not that you have anything to worry about, of course. This is just the way it's always been. I click my teeth and raise my brow at her. Do you know why? She shakes her head. I gently touch her shoulder, our eyes meeting for a bit. It's mystery to me. All I know is that he scowls at me and treats me like I'm a huge bother to him. Sometimes even simply breathing seems to offend him. Have you tried asking him about it? Huh? Well, the only way to find the answer to this mystery is to ask him yourself. If he can't give an answer, then he's hating on you without any logical reason, and he'll have to be confronted with that fact. If he does, then you'll know what's wrong, and you can at least see if the problems are with you or with him. Ellie stares wide-eyed at me. Has she never really considered actually confronting Benji? I guess that makes sense. She doesn't seem to want to be in anyone's way. Right now, though, that's her biggest enemy. I don't know if I can, Adrian. He won't even let me see the light of day when it comes to socializing. I pull Ellie to face me, and she stiffens up as I do so. That's exactly why you have to confront him. I don't know Benji as well as you do, but I can sort of tell that he doesn't push twice. What? If he pushes you and you stay down, that's the end of the line. But people who he pushes and they stand their ground, they seem to catch his attention longer than anything. Adrian, I don't know if it's... She's still in doubt. I can understand that, but nothing's going to happen if she stays like this. At the very least, she has to consider it. Come on, Adrian, think! A friend once told me something that stuck with me ever since that point in my life. But what? Regretting in silence is the crappiest feeling ever. Better to let it all out than to let it keep it bottled inside. Is that so? Ellie thinks for a moment. She looks around aimlessly, clearly debating something. After a few moments of silence, she looks at me. I'll think about it, but I can't just ignore all the work and clutter I have in my lab. Then let me help you. That way you can focus on thinking. Adrian, why do you care so much? Oh? Well, I think for a moment. This has been mostly just my feelings overriding my judgment, but I'm already too deep into it to go back now. I've already committed to finding out the mysteries of this group and this whole situation. And if I had another person to help me solve these mysteries, best I take them. Think of it as a personal thing. Or? Exam arrived. You always imagined a dog sound when Adrian reaction. No, when you need to be. Because the other YouTuber dog make a sound in that exact moment. Okay. If you say so, I won't pry if you don't want to stay. Ellie takes a basket filled with flasks of chemicals and other liquids and hands it to me. First, I'll need these to be relocated to the infirmary. I'll tell you what you have to do next afterwards. You got it. I enthusiastically take the basket and start marching to the infirmary. Be careful, it doesn't spill! Oh dear. Later that day. Gotta come down. That should be the last thing that needs doing around here. Now to take a well-deserved break. I carefully place the last empty basket under Alice's counter and crash onto the lounge's sofa. That was a workout. Who knew she had so many baskets? I puff out a large exhale as I slowly sink into the soft foam. I swear I can just take a nap right here. That is, if there wasn't some faint knocking coming from in front of me. I jolt upwards and the whiplash from the sudden movement causes an imbalance of blood circulation, hitting me a bit hard afterwards. Oh, that. Okay. I take a moment to wait for my vision to return to normal, but as soon as it does, I see Oswald leaning on the doorframe, a smile plastered on his face. Oswald! Hey there. I jump off the sofa to greet him, as he looks at me with a smirk. I don't really know what's got him in such a good mood, but I'm not that curious to ask either. He's here now, and that makes me feel a lot safer. So, how's training, Adrian? Benji didn't give you a hard time, yeah? Oh, training? Well, it was... He groped me and smacked my ass. Like a drum. Like a drum. Oh, training? Well, it was... Suddenly, a large figure appears behind Oswald and pushes him off the doorway. we got so the funny story, they are in the room right next to me. Hiya. Oswald nearly crashes onto me, but he manages to stop himself midway. He then immediately... yeah. Oh god. Just quotes from my dumbass. Okay. He then immediately gazes at the figure who turned out to be Max. That actually reminds me, I gotta do something after this. Blocking the way, Oz. You didn't have to shove me, though. Yeah, whatever. Besides, you might forget to tell the pup. A hit in your head might help jog your memory. Max then leaves in the direction of the hallway, disappearing into the bend. I look at Oswald questioningly. Tell me what? Oswald blinks at me for a moment before lighting up in realization. Oh yeah, I told Dylan about your... situation. My... situation? Oh! Yeah, I told him that you were alright and that you were bunking with me. I give him a suspicious look. Wouldn't that be a bit concerning from his point of view? Oswald thinks for a moment. Maybe. He didn't seem to mind, though. I see. Does Dylan know about all this? I gesture all around me. Slight surprise forms on Oswald's face from that question. He tugs his collar afterwards, exhaling a large puff of air. Not really. Well, not at all, I hope. Well, I guess that makes sense. Oswald places his paw on my shoulder. Don't worry, Adrian. The less people who know about this, the less people that'll hurt because of us. That doesn't really ease my conscience. The wolf sighs as he lets go of me. I had a feeling it wouldn't. Just please stay strong for us, yeah? I take a deep breath, giving Oswald the best smile I can. Alright, I will. For the team! Oswald nods, walking towards the hallway to the rooms. I need to get changed. Talk to you later, yeah? I nod at him and he goes off to his room. A little bit before he disappears from my view, Benji exits from the same hallway. It's about damn time! In a minute, I'm a no. Yeah, that's fine. In a minute, I'm gonna need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Just, just, actually made some of my friends uncomfortable by moaning. Oh, Adrian. Figures are the first thing the wolf sees to have a grin like that plastered on his face. Okay, I'll stop moaning. For now. He walks towards me in a rather relaxed manner while sporting a mischievous smirk. I sit back down on the sofa and recompose myself before facing Benji. Hello to you too, Benji. What do you mean by a grin like that? Benji chuckles, crossing his arms as he strokes his chin. Well, you're quick to study, so I doubt you need my input to reach a verdict. Is that so? A second opinion wouldn't hurt. True, but I'm interested in a solo conclusion. I laugh Benji's remarks off because he's right. I am smart enough to know what he's insinuating. Feels a bit too convenient and weird that he's so happy around me. Doesn't help that that's the only lead I've got on the guy. Alright, I'll keep you posted. Only if I ask for it, of course. As Benji and I continue our playful banter, Alice walks in with Ellie. Alright, that makes 4. Where are the last 2? Back in their rooms changing. Should be here any minute now. Alice nods, tapping Ellie on the arm. The cat quickly walks to the corner opposite where Benji and I are. I wonder if she's done making up her mind. It's been a few hours since I asked her to think about it. Hey, Benji. Mind if I have a minute? Not at all, darling. Ugh, just come with me! Of course, of course. Benji turns to me. Why don't you keep her company? Girl's a disappointing mess. I stifle my slight annoyance at Benji and nod at him. He's really hell-bent on keeping Ellie at arm's length, huh? I walk towards Ellie, and she's clearly shaken by Benji's presence. I hope it doesn't affect her decision. Hey, Ellie. You doing okay? Ellie looks at me briefly before recomposing herself but keeping her hands clasped still. I'm alright, Adrian. This is just my homeostatic reaction to his presence. What? Feeling fussy, need some Balenciagas, try to bring out the fabulous, cause I don't give a fuck way too much. I'ma need like 2 shots in my cup, wanna get up, wanna get down, that's what I feel right now. What? Force of habit. Anything I can do to help? No, I just have to get used to it, then I'll be back to normal. Alright, let me know if you need anything, okay? I nod to her before turning to sit back on the couch, but the sound of her stuttering stops me. Here, I'll clip it myself. I'll clip it myself. What am I clipping? Cause like I already have a couple ideas for the highlights, and they've all happened within the last 10 minutes. For highlights for this stream. Sound of her stuttering. I nod to her before turning to sit back on the couch, but the sound of her stuttering stops me. Adrian? Yes? I haven't made a decision yet. I sigh inwardly. Ellie, it's okay. Just take your time. No point rushing something as important as this. Alright. Okay. Yeah, that was actually something that I was thinking. Okay, bye. As I continue to try and comfort Ellie, Max and Oswald arrive from changing clothes. Good. The whole team is here. Sup? Huh. Alice presses a button which reveals all the panels on her PC. It catches our attention, even more so as Alice claps her hands to actually catch our attention. Alright, gather around. Time for the team briefing. Benji's the first to take a seat, cross-legged at that, on a spare bar stool next to the couch. He takes that stool closer to the screen, positioning himself just in front of the couch. Ellie, on the other hand, takes a spare seat up in the other end of the room to the side. Max takes Ellie's original spot behind the two. Oswald pushes the couch to the center of the room, a clear view of everything Alice has present on the screen. He crashes onto it, his weight causing the couch to scoot back a bit. But he doesn't seem to care. He just looks at me before tapping the space next to him. Thanks. Don't mention it. Alice clears her throat as she pulls out her keyboard. Now, let's get started. This is actually a good time to leave off, so we're going to leave off here tonight. What do you mean you did not give consent? Just what do you mean? I'm confused. I am confusion. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna go like create those clips. I'm gonna go create those highlights and clips, post them tomorrow along with tonight's VOD all tomorrow. And stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.